All right, so today we're going to be making some grain spawn. I'm doing it in these quart jars with we're doing white millet. It's known as white proso millet, and I'm switching to this from my whole oats because this just I think it colonizes faster on the front end. It's cleaner to work with, and it gives us significantly more inoculation points whenever we do send it to substrate, which will allow our substrate bags to colonize even quicker. So I'm going to take you through the process of doing a no soak and no simmer grain spawn with this. So what we're going to do first, we're going to get our jars here. We have it on our grams. We're going to tear it out, and we're just going to put 250 grams of white millet. So we'll fill it up right at 250. That's good enough. So we got about this much. It's going to fill up even more whenever we throw it in the pressure cooker. So I'm going to fill up all 7 of my jars that I can fit in my pressure cooker with that millet, and then we're going to add water, which is going to be about 145 grams. But let me fill these up and then we'll jump to the water process. All right, so all my jars have 250 grams of millet. Now we're going to add, like I said, 145 grams of water. It does not take much, so you got to be very careful so you don't overshoot it. Otherwise you're stuck draining a little bit. So you see just that little bit, I went 2 grams over, not a big deal. It's within our margin of error. So I like to keep it ultimately about between 140 and 150. So 145 is kind of the sweet spot, but that's good enough right there. We're just gonna do this to all of our jars, and then we're gonna set them up for our pressure cook. All right, so I've put about 3.5 quarts of water in our pressure cooker. That's, about 4 of these full, which kind of keeps it easy for me to keep track. I'd rather a little bit more water than a little bit less, but we're just gonna come over here and put all of our tops on these jars. And then lightly screw these on. I don't screw them out all the way, I just keep them a little bit around like that. We're going to tighten them up after we cook these. So we'll just do that. And then the next step after this that I like to do is put a little bit of aluminum foil over the top of all of these. So I just get my foil out right here, and I start just ripping chunks. So I'll take a chunk like that and just cover the top. That's going to keep moisture from kind of sneaking in through our filter. It keeps it from getting real wet. So yeah, we'll just come through and top all these off. And then we'll be ready to load it into the cooker. All right, so now that we got those done, we can just take these and line them around just like this. So you can do about 7 jars in here. There we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and start heating this up and get it to 15 psi. Pressure cooker going. It's been steaming for about 10 minutes. We're gonna throw this on, get it up to 15 psi, and we're gonna keep it there for, I do about 2 hours just to be safe, but you can get away with an hour and a half. All right, it's been about 2 hours. We're gonna just shut this off. 2 hours at 15 psi. We're gonna give it about an hour or so for it to cool down, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna shake these, and once they cool after that, they'll be ready. All right, last bit of the process, we have our cans here. So I like to do this about an hour or so after it finishes cooking while it's still hot. Unfortunately, I had to let mine go for about 3 or 4 hours. So it's not quite the ideal temperature, but we just take these out. We'll get rid of our can, we'll tighten this in. You can see it's inflated a good bit, but we want to just shake this up and distribute some of the moisture as much as we possibly can. So yeah, it's a little bit easier when it's a little bit more hot to kind of shake up and break apart. But we're going to do this to all of our jars just to distribute the moisture and get them ready for inoculation tomorrow morning. So hope this video helps you guys out. Let me know, what kind of ratios do y'all use for grain? Do you prefer millet? Do you prefer oats or rye berry? Let me know. Thanks for watching.